All right. Looks like we should be live here. If people are in the chat, post a comment. Happy New Year to everyone. This is our first video of 2024 and should be an interesting one. Hopefully you are enjoying a nice holiday wherever you are, or if you're back to work already, as I am. Well, hello. Welcome to 2024. I am Drew Badger, the founder of EnglishAnyone.com and the English Fluency Guide, and it is a pleasure to welcome you to another live video here on YouTube. Now, this is weird. We got like likes but no viewers. Good old YouTube. I don't know why they're always up to something, but hello, everyone. Post a comment. Let me know if you can see this, and hopefully it should be working. All right. So today, I'm going to be talking about some advanced English prepositions, and this should be an interesting lesson for people, especially. All right, looks like Clevens, Birkin. All right, so people can see. Nice to see everybody there. So we're going to talk about how natives learn this and what I also do in my own home. But I want to say one important thing at the beginning of this video, specifically about, well, not just prepositions, but really learning anything. And this is that when people think they know something, they stop trying to learn it and they stop going deeper into that information. And as I often say, there are really three different levels of understanding. So the first is when you're just exposed to some language. The second one is when you're recognizing that information. And then the highest level is awareness. The highest level is ownership. So if you're only recognizing information and you can understand things in conversations, but you still can't speak, it means you don't have that ownership level. So when you recognize something, you have the awareness level of understanding. Don't stop there. You should continue to learn, continue to go deeper into information until you really feel you know it. So often, especially something like prepositions, these are very basic things like in or on or at. Well, nice to see everybody out there. I'll address any comments people have. I just wanted to make this point at the beginning of the video. And that is, again, that we take things that might seem basic and then we don't want to go deeper into them. So I'm going to show you in this video how things that might seem basic are actually quite advanced. So hopefully you are open to that. Even me, as I continue to learn Japanese, I'm always trying to review things and take things that might seem basic, but I want to go and review them anyway. All right, so let's get right into this. We'll talk about examples, and then if people have questions about anything, as usual, post them in the chat. I will go back and review those. But what I like to do at home, when I'm teaching my own kids, so I have two daughters. They are, 8, and Noelle her birthday is tomorrow. She will be 5 years old tomorrow. So often what I will do is if they will say something or I'm teaching them something, I will try to keep the sentence the same, but just change one word and see how that changes things. So this could be like a very basic thing like I have a blue pen. I have a blue pen or a blue marker in my hand. So I might say I have a blue marker. But then I switch that. Now I have a red marker. And so they can see, oh, look, the only thing that's different about that, it's really easy just to compare those sentences and know, okay, this is red and this is blue. So we're talking about me having something like I am throwing or tossing. I'm tossing a red marker. Now I'm holding a red marker. So here you can tell the difference between one verb, one action, and another one. I'm holding something or I'm just tossing something up in the air, all right? So this is how natives learn, and the reason they're learning this way is because it's the only way they can understand their native language. So I can't use Chinese to teach English to my kids because they don't know Chinese. They have to learn English in English, okay? Just the same way they're learning Japanese in Japanese. All right, so let's get on with our first examples. Again, if you have any questions, nice to see everybody. Hello, Happy New Year. I want to get right into the lesson. I'm excited. I was thinking about this lesson because actually I had a conversation with my daughters about this. Pardon me, there's like something in my throat today. I will do my best to be healthy here, but I don't know. Maybe I need my sip of water as usual. All right. So let's begin. First example, we'll do the price. So we'll do the price increased by $10. The price increased by $10. What is My Professions EC24? You can guess. See if you can guess what my profession is. The price increased by $10, and then we also have the price increased to $10. So I was talking with my kids about this, not this specific example about pricing, but we were talking about by and to, and I was giving them some different sentence examples of that. So we have the price increased by $10 and the price increased to $10. So these seem like simple things and they are related, but it means something completely different in the sentence just by changing this one word. So let's say we have like the price of something. We'll just put like the price of something here. Let's say the beginning price we have here is $5. And so if the price increases by $10, how much is the price? So we're talking about the price increases by $10. How much is the price now? So if we start at $5 and the price increases by the price increases by $10, how much is it? How much is the thing? Let's say we call this just because it's easy to draw, a skateboard. So the price of the skateboard was $5 and then the price increased by $10. How much is the skateboard now? We'll put by over here. And then we've got 2 over here. We'll give her that by 10%. Can I say so? No. So this is, remember, 10% and $10, that's 2 completely different things. Someone said $5. What? So if the price is $5 already, let's just put this down to 0 just so people can see the difference here. So the price of the skateboard, it's already $5. The price of the skateboard is already $5. But the price increased by $10. So what do we have? Yes, Summer gets the correct answer. So if it's going up by this amount, we're talking about additionally it's going up this much. The price is going to be going up by $10. Yeah. All right. Now, let's say we'll draw the same thing over here. So we've got $5 for the skateboard. And we start at 0. The price of the skateboard is $5, but it goes up to $10. The price increased to $10. How much is the price of the skateboard? I know people might not enjoy a math problem, but this is a very common thing. Now, it's $10. Look at that. So we've got 15 over here and 10 over here. All right, people are getting it. Now, the point I want to make about this is like we can think about these things. I want you to get, lots of examples as you hear these things. I'll give you many more examples in this video. But the point is we're thinking about something like from and to. So often people will use in like when they're giving an English like expression talking about pricing like this, you might say the price increased from $5 to whatever the price is. So the important thing is just like whatever they leave. So if we have the price increased from $5 to $10, the price increased from $5 to $10. But sometimes, like this example, we don't use from. So to is usually pretty simple to remember. So we're talking about to like from and to. Most people get that. So we've got from here to here. So we're talking about just the increase, and that's the destination. So when we have to $10, just like I'm going to Chicago or to the moon, I'm talking about the destination. So where we end up. Pardon me, of course it's another live video and we have to have an ambulance drive by in the video. All right, everybody making sense? Hopefully this is clear. So when we're talking about to, I want you to hear that, think about it like a destination. We're going to someplace like I'm going to the movies. I'm going to the park. Same kind of idea, and that's the destination. So the price went to a certain amount. But if we're talking about increased by is like a way of doing something. Like I'm going to the moon by rocket. I'm going to the park by car. So it's the way we're talking about doing something. It's not the destination. So $10 is talking about the distance here. So how we're doing something. So the price went up by $5. It went up by $20. Or you can say it went down by a certain amount. Same idea. So if the price of the skateboard was $15 and it went down by $10, then the price of the skateboard is now $5. All right. So it went up by $10 or it went down by $10. Okay. And of course, it's the same thing with percentages. So if we want to say it went up by 15% or went down by 15%, same idea. So we're talking about by in the same way you would go somewhere like I'm going to the park by bus, or I'm going by skateboard, or I'm going to the park, Does anyone have any questions about this? Now it's important to remember, like, we use the term by, like I'm trying to show you a connection here between like a means of doing something, like I'm writing by marker, like we're doing something by hand, like I'm writing it by hand. It's a way of doing something. So that's the way of doing something, the distance. And then we've got the destination where we're talking about to. Okay. So when you learn a word like by, what a lot of people do is they will just translate that through their native language for whatever that means. So if you say, if Laura says, if we're talking about, let's say the price is $5 and you say it went up by 10%. So $10 would be way more than 10%. You can use, like grammatically, you can say that a price increases by 10%. You can say that. But the problem here, like 10% of 5, that would be what? 50 cents? So if the price goes up to $5.50, then that would be a 10% increase. 10% increase. So the price went up by 10%. Okay, so very different. $10 takes you to $15, but 10% only takes you to $5.50. Okay. Now I know people don't want to sit and listen to a math problem, and I don't want to teach a math problem. Math is not my focus, but this is again like something you will see this very commonly used, especially when talking about like going shopping or listening to the news when people are talking about like population going up or down, or the number of people going up or this going down. You will hear these prepositions used a lot. Now, if you want to say jumped, the price, and that's talking about like you would be replacing the verb over here. So the price jumped by $10. It's like you really want to show, wow, the price jumped by $10. Okay, so now we're showing, oh, it jumped up. That means it's like a really rapid, high increase. So very quickly, and the price goes up very quickly. The price jumped by $10. So wow, it really became, or skyrocketed would be another one. So you'll hear these things on the news. If we just say the price increased, or the price, another very common phrasal verb is just to go up. Whoops, up. So the price went up by $5, or the price went down by $5. Okay, so skyrocketed is another one. Okay. Yes, so the math makes it a little bit easier to understand. But the core idea here is that we're trying to contrast two things. It's like understanding light and darkness, but all in the same language. Okay? Hopefully everybody's got this idea. This should be a pretty basic idea, but the point is we might take something that seems like a basic preposition, but we use it in advanced ways. All right? So remember, just because you think you know something, review it more. You really want to get more examples, because I'm guaranteeing you will be surprised as people like use something in a different way that you're not expecting. And you will say, oh, wow, I didn't know I could use something like this. Oh, no, clear as mud. The example was not clear. Oh, well, that's a little disappointing. I'm here to help. What is not clear about this? Remember, when we're talking about by, we're talking about increasing, we're talking about moving, the means of doing something. It's a way of doing something. So I'm going to increase it by this amount. I'm talking about like the duration of that thing. So the way I'm doing it, that's increased. Oh, okay, it is clear they are kidding. Well, hopefully, you never know. That's the problem with comments. I can't tell if people are being serious or not, and I really want to make sure people understand. Because when you understand something, then you can speak. Okay? All right. I think people are getting it, though. Let's move on to the next example. But if you do have any questions about this, we can revisit it. All right, next one. This was an interesting one, too. I was using this one with my daughters as well. I was waiting for, actually, no. Yes, waiting for the bus. Versus, I was waiting at the bus. MC, you are always very clear. I do my best. But remember, even if you don't understand something the first time, it's okay. Often we get kind of understanding in layers. So we will hear something, maybe not quite understand it, and we usually need like 2 or 3 points, like 2 or 3 points of information before we really start getting something. This is why usually you have a joke. If you hear a joke, you might hear like one example, like example I've given before is this is actually a Disney example. I don't know why I'm thinking this one right now, but I have given it before. And this is like, this is from Beauty and the Beast, the cartoon. And the Beast was trying to think of something nice he could do for Belle, the lady character. And the little clock guy said, well, you can give her flowers or chocolates or promises you don't intend to keep. So the reason I'm drawing it this way is like usually a joke works like this where we get one piece of information. So flowers, chocolates, and so that's taking us kind of where our head is going in a certain direction. So we think it's going to be like maybe give her, I don't know, like another present or something like that. But we're going to move from that and do something different. And that's where the joke comes from. That's why it becomes funny because, oh, look, it's different from what we expected. So you could give your wife flowers or chocolates or promises you don't intend to keep. All right? So often information works in the same way where we need to get layers, get kind of layers of information, and that's how we understand things. I think some comment back in. I learned words by Anki. It really works for me. Yes, if it works for you, then great. Can I say increased twice? Well, you could say something increased twice if you're talking about like how many times it increased. Or yes, you could say twofold, but that would be like you really want to be clear when you're talking about that. Because I could start something at like $5 and then I increase it once to $7 and then I increase it again to $10. So here it increased once and then twice. So if you're talking about the number of times or the number of increases there are, then you're talking about that. But if you're talking about like it went to or like it increased by 2 times, then I would be talking about like from 5 to 10. It increased by 2 times. So it increased by 2 times. Good questions. So you notice this is how we build fluency. So what happens is your mind will get some new information and it's trying to understand it, and it will also ask other questions like, what if we try this thing? Or what about that? And as you get more answers to these things, that's what really makes you feel confident that you'll use things correctly in conversations. And that's when you speak. Okay? So if you learn something you feel good about one example, but you don't feel so confident about another one, then you might not speak, you might not say anything about that. Okay? All right, so I was waiting for the bus versus I was waiting at the bus. What's the difference? What are you doing when you're waiting for the bus? I'm waiting for the bus. Right now I'm waiting for you to answer me. I will take another drink as I wait for a comment. What am I doing if I'm waiting for the bus? This is more fun when you participate. So I was waiting for the bus. Where am I waiting? All right, let's imagine here is me at bus stop. So this is me waiting at the bus stop. So I want to ride somewhere for a thing. So it's not necessarily waiting for a particular thing. You could use for anything. I'm waiting for a birthday. I'm waiting for the end of the world. You could be waiting for, there are lots of things you could wait for. You could be waiting, checking if a bus is coming. So right now I'm waiting for the bus. So I'm standing at the bus stop. I'm waiting for the bus. The bus is not here. I'm waiting for the bus to come. Okay, so you can be waiting for anything. Yes, so you're waiting for the bus to come. Raul got it. I'm waiting for the bus. All right, so anytime you're waiting, like someone is not here or something has not happened yet, like I'm waiting for 2 o'clock. So I'm waiting for some time to happen. Right now, what time is it here? It's 10:13 in the morning on Saturday here in Japan. Maybe I'm waiting for 11 o'clock because that's when my restaurant opens or something like that. So waiting at the bus, you're waiting inside for, whoa, Davey's got something there. All right, so we're going to contrast these right now. So we've got for, but waiting at, this will be my very quick picture of a bus. This is me at the bus. All right, so right here I am at the bus. Remember, when we're talking about at, we're talking about a general location around something. So I could be inside the bus. That's true. I could be inside the bus, or I could be generally around the bus in that area. I could be inside the bus, but not necessarily. You can see right here, I'm still at the bus. All right? And often people will be specific. If you hear a native speaker say, I'm at the bus, it means they're probably standing out front of it. So on the outside of the bus rather than inside it. If people are in the bus, they will say, I'm in the bus, or they are on the bus. Okay? So at, in, or on, at, again, we're talking about a general area. I could be sitting on top of the bus and I could still be saying I'm at the bus. Most people would not say that, but technically it would be correct. So I'm at the bus right now. I'm in this general area. And again, if you hear natives say this, if I'm at the bus or I'm at the bus stop in the same way. So right here, I am at the bus stop, but I'm still waiting for the bus. All right? But right here, maybe I'm still waiting for a friend, but I'm waiting at the bus. Okay? So I could be at any particular place, and this is like I'm waiting just at a particular vehicle. Same thing. So if I'm waiting at the bus for a friend, waiting at the bus. Okay? Now again, I just want to give like some very simple contrasts here. We could continue on, like I could be waiting on someone, all right? So you could be waiting for the bus at the bus stop. Same idea, very good. I'm waiting for a friend at the bus stop. So maybe I'm not waiting for a bus, I'm waiting for a friend. So my friend said they would meet me at the bus stop, but then we will walk. So I'm still waiting at the bus stop, but waiting for a friend. I'm waiting for a friend. Okay? All right, let's continue. Another interesting one for you. I'm mad at her, or I'm mad about her. Now this is a slightly more advanced example. Have you guys heard of this? You know these examples? Do you know the difference between these two? So if I say I'm mad at someone versus I'm mad about someone. Mad about someone. There was a TV show, I think back in the 1990s, called Mad About You. Mad About You. Summer again says, so I am waiting at the bus stop is an incomplete sentence. So I am waiting at the bus. No, that is a complete sentence. I'm waiting at the bus. So most people would, they would, like if I let's say I go into, there's like a parking lot, okay? And so we have, here's a parking lot, we've got cars here, but over here is a bus. And a friend says, so maybe I'm talking with them on the phone, where are you? I always say, oh, I'm over here. I'm waiting at the bus. So it means I'm not over here or over here, like there's only one bus in the parking lot. Maybe, let's say there are 3 buses over here. I would have to be more specific. So I'm waiting at the red bus. Or I'm waiting at the number, like let's say this is the number 116 bus. Okay? The 116 bus. So yes, I'm around that general area. I could be at the bus. Usually I'm probably standing right in front of it or around it, waiting to get on the bus or waiting to do something. So if someone says they're in the bus already, it means they're already inside, they're already riding the bus. Even if the bus is not moving, I could still be on the bus or in it. Both of those are fine. All right, let's see if I missed another question about there. So Monica said, about is when she did something to make you mad. That is incorrect. Incorrect. Let's do these one at a time. You've probably heard to be mad at someone. In the bus or on the bus. Both of those are correct, David. You can be both in the bus and on the bus. But it's, I'll keep, so this is great. People are getting like lots of good questions about this, but even these are basic things like in or on, but people still really want to make sure they get that certainty. And that's important. So if you don't feel like you're like, oh, is that person in the bus or on the bus? You won't feel certain about using that in conversations. All right. So we got a person here, and they're inside the bus. So right, this person, you can say like this person right here, they are in the bus, and, they're also on the bus. So when we talk about being inside a vehicle like this, it could be like a plane or like any kind of large vehicle like this. So a bus or a boat. So I'm in the bus right now, and I'm on the bus as well. Now, if I'm sitting here on the top of the bus, here I'm only on the bus. But people would be very specific about this. They would say I'm on top of the bus because they want to make it clear because both of these are on. So if my friend is looking for me and he says, oh, where are you? I say, hey, I'm on the bus. He will think I mean inside the bus because people are usually not sitting on top of the bus. Okay. So I'd have to be very specific and say, oh, like, no, I'm on top of the bus. So my friend is over here. Maybe he's looking in the window, and I say, oh, no, I'm up here. I'm on top of the bus. Look up here. I'm on top of the bus. And he's like, oh, you're not on the bus. You're like really on the bus, not just, inside of it. All right, so Lyra says, at the bus equals near the bus, by the bus. Which one sounds better? Yeah, both of those are fine. You can say I'm waiting by the bus or I'm waiting at the bus. Both of those mean the same thing. I'm probably standing out here in front or around the bus in some way. So I'm by the bus right now. Yeah, I'm by the bus. Hello, I'm over here. I'm by the bus. I'm at the bus. Okay. So number one, you don't need to be so... you don't need to worry so much about like being exact because native speakers will express this in different ways. And that by the bus or at the bus, that's another good example of that. Okay? So if I'm waiting by the bus, I'm near the bus. And I'm also waiting at the bus. But it's important to remember, I wanted to say two things, but it's really just one thing. And that's you can have a situation like this, and there could be different ways I express that. So the situation is here. I am in this location, and I could say I am by the bus. I am at the bus. I am in front of the bus. Or I am beside. I am next to. or I am near. Look at all of these different ways you could express that. And so this is how natives learn the language. They begin with a situation, and then they hear, like over time, you will hear many different times, like someone is by something else or whatever. Okay? So I'm next to something, or I am beside, or I am in front of, or I'm at, or by. All of those things are perfectly fine to describe this situation. So where I'm here, like I am at the front of the bus, or I can even be more specific, like I'm on the right side of the bus. It just depends on how specific you want to be. Okay? But it's important to understand this. So right now you're learning English as a first language. I'm not using your native language to teach you. I'm teaching you the same way I would teach my own children English. Okay? So you're learning it as a first language, the same way a native would learn it. Look at that. Look at this situation and look at all these different ways you will hear it. Now, usually so I'm taking over the bus is a completely different thing. I'm taking over the bus is when I get on the bus, I've got a gun or something, and I say, okay, now everyone do what I say to take over the bus. All right, so that's a different example. But everybody's getting it? I think so. All right? So remember, like often people will, like a non-native speaker will get one example. Okay, like the person said next to, so I always have to say next to the bus. But that's not how the language works. It's just, look at that. You got one person here and like, and like one native speaker would say it like this. Another native speaker would say it like this. Another speaker would say it like this and like this. So over your lifetime, you will get lots of examples. I'm just doing it much faster all in one example like this. So this is how you can understand many things at the same time very quickly and understand it like a native. Okay? I think everybody's getting it though. We're still on the bus example. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to know about the bus? Does anyone want to take over the bus or get under the bus or fix the bus or do something else? Anything else? I think we're okay. All right. Very quickly, to be mad at someone, you're actually angry. To be mad, like I'm angry, and I'm directing that at this person. So I'm mad at her. I'm mad at her. I'm mad at her. But mad about, this is a very specific, kind of interesting collection of vocabulary here. To be mad about something, it just means mad, like yes, like you really love something a lot. And you can be like mad about, like you're falling in love with someone, but you can also just be mad about something that you really enjoy. Like a young child might be mad about dinosaurs. They just really like, my son, he loves his toy dinosaurs, and he's just mad about dinosaurs. Okay? So he's mad about those things. To be mad, it could mean you're like, it means you're angry, but it also means you're crazy, like you're uncontrolled. You can't do something, all right? So when people go into like a mental health, hospital, something like that, like, well, that person is mad, they're crazy. Okay, they're thinking about things that aren't true, or they can't control themselves somehow. So we're using it in a positive way, like I'm mad about my wife, or I'm mad about my toys, or something like that. Okay, now you can also be mad at yourself. You can be mad at yourself as well. To be mad at, I'm mad at myself. Like I'm angry, I made a mistake, now I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at myself. All right. You could also be mad about yourself if you like love yourself, so much or whatever. I'm mad about myself. Any questions about that? All right. So this is something, as you hear different examples about it, but again, you'll hear this theme in my videos, this same thing, me repeating it again and again. The traditional way of language learning, the English as a second language way of learning, is that like you would take a word like mad and then you learn it like let's say if I translate this into Japanese, it's like okoru, like to be angry at someone. All right? But here it's like, no, I don't mean that. All right? Now you could be mad with as well. That's another good example. I didn't want to cover lots of these different things, but that's another good example. I could be mad with power. I could be mad with power. So it means it's like I'm, again, the idea of being not angry, but crazy and uncontrolled. So, oh no, that like the president of that company is mad with power. Okay? So they're mad about, they're like mad with, they're mad with power, like they're mad with control, or they're mad with, I recommend you just Google this. Like if you just type in like mad with and see what it auto completes. You should get some interesting examples. All right. But same thing with mad at or mad about. But the point is, again, I really want people to understand it's not about translating something from your language into English and understanding it this way. We don't want a translation or a definition. We want to compare things in English to help you understand them like a native. So this will end any questions or doubts you have about using vocabulary, and that's when you can speak. All right? All right, let me see if I missed any questions about that, if anybody had anything. All right. Something like I'm crazy for you, I'm crazy about you, says Rodolfo. Okay, I think yeah, we got it. Hong says the best teacher in YouTube. Well, you're too kind. John says, good evening, it's a pleasure to be here. Greetings from Colombia. Raul says, I'm lost in her. You mean here or her? All right, I'm taking over the bus. Yeah, okay, I got that one. Our bro says, I think this YouTube channel should be interactive English, the way you care for everyone's comments. Well, I try. Again, the point, like, you don't really become a good speaker by speaking. I know that sounds like a funny idea. It sounds wrong. It sounds backwards. It just sounds impossible. But you really become a fluent speaker by understanding the language well. So that's why I like to go back and go through everybody's comments. If I have too many people here, then that might not be possible. But in general, I want to make sure everybody is clear so they can speak. So get off and get on. A happy and healthy new year, says Nils. Well, nice to see you there. Summer says, I'm funny. All right, well, I try. Good work. Madly in love with her or about her. Well, yeah, you could be madly in love with someone. Madly in love with someone. I suppose you could also be like madly in love about someone, but typically we wouldn't say that. You just say, I'm mad about someone. George, nice to see you there. Yes, throw myself under the bus. It's another good example. All right, so you can throw yourself under the bus. Typically, like, people we often don't refer to ourselves as like throwing ourselves under the bus, but you would throw someone else under the bus. So for people who don't know this expression, we should just call this the bus video, because people get lots of enjoyment learning about bus expressions. But this is a good expression that people should know, and you will hear it often. This is to throw. So somebody, like whoever that is, throw someone under the bus. All right? Now, to throw someone under the bus, if we imagine like there's a bus moving. So here's the bus, and I'm standing here with somebody else. My face looks a little weird in that example, but... So here I am, and the bus is coming, and I kind of push this person. I like throw them under the bus. So I throw that person under the bus and basically kill that person. So I'm hurting this person, usually to save myself. So maybe the bus is coming at me, and I say, oh no, I'm going to like throw this other person. And that person, the bus rolls over that person. So this is to throw someone under the bus, like to throw you, to throw someone under the bus. And you could throw yourself under the bus, but typically we would use a different way of describing this. So throwing yourself under the bus means you're sacrificing yourself for other people. So a different way, a more common way people would use it, even though it is correct to say you throw yourself under the bus. Usually you would say like you fall on your sword. So you imagine like there's like a sword like this, and you kind of kill yourself, like ugh, to fall on your sword, to fall on your sword. To fall on your sword, or you can fall on the grenade, same idea. So like a little explosive grenade. So there's a grenade on the ground, and there could be like, so a grenade, you know what a grenade is, right? A grenade, I'll kind of draw a picture of it. It kind of looks like this. and there's usually a pin in it. So you pull the pin and you throw the grenade and boom. All right. So you throw a grenade and it explodes and can hurt people or kill people in the area. So sometimes like someone will sacrifice themselves. They will jump on the grenade. In the movie Captain America, the recent Captain America, like the first one, the first Avenger, I think, Captain America jumps on a grenade. Okay. So this is where you are sacrificing yourself for other people. So you could throw yourself under the bus, but it's kind of weird to like throw yourself under the bus. All right. So typically people are doing something to other people. All right. So like someone, if I like say, oh no, he did it, like that other guy, and I'm having that other person, you know, we say like to take the fall for something, or I'm blaming somebody else. So to throw that person under the bus. All right. You guys are really mad about bus examples. Yes, crazy about is the same thing. All right, let's see. Many people are mad about your classes. Well, I hope so. I hope they are enjoying them. Yeah, so Monica, yes, it's correct to say crazy about the same thing. So David says, yes, Drew is very thoughtful. Thank you for that. These interactions really make the difference to your channel. Well, I'm glad to hear. I agree. I like to wish you. I agree with you. I like to watch. Maybe you mean watch the video. Trump mad with power. Is it positive or negative? Well, I guess it depends on what you think, Santosh. If you're saying like, wow, like Trump is mad with power, and you're like, maybe the Democrats in the United States are saying that, like, we can't let him have power, like we want power instead. So there's always like two groups of people, like, you know, one person will like, they'll want power, say the other person shouldn't have power, whatever. Same basic idea. Yeah, but you've probably seen this in movies as well. But you can, again, remember another idea about learning English like a native is natives will take often a physical example of this, of something like here's a person, here's a grenade, and you jump on the grenade. That's a physical example from war. So you might try to save the other people in your group. Maybe only one of you dies, but like everybody else in the group is okay. So you jump on the grenade for other people in your group. Yeah, so it'd be kind of like you could be betraying somebody, or I mean, you know, typically, yeah, that's the basic idea, to betray someone. But we throw yourself on the grenade for anything. So like I quit my job, or I'm a politician, and even though it wasn't my fault, I took responsibility for some failure. So I resigned, I threw myself, you could say I threw myself under the bus or whatever, or I fell on my sword, or I jumped on the grenade. All right. Lots of good examples here. I think, let's see. So Jose is saying, ¿por qué no he subtulio en este video que triste element? Yes, so you're watching a live video right now, Jose. So Google is not going to automatically translate what I'm saying in the moment into Spanish, and it's not going to give you in the moment translations into English either. So be patient. All right. Let's see. It's going crazy meaning. Yeah, that's the same idea. All right. Also, like Alejandro was answering that question as well, but about subtitles. So usually what happens is the video goes live, and then maybe like a couple of hours later, the subtitles will be ready, and then they will be available. So if you're watching it live, the subtitles will not be there, but you can go back and watch it later. All right. Thanks from Barcelona. Muchas gracias. Okay. All right, so let's go to the last example we have here. I didn't want to, take the video. We've already been going for 44 minutes. I know some people might be on vacation. Thank you for joining me, though. Well, one more. I thought I would do just a couple of these because I knew you would have more questions about buses or whatever. All right, this is another kind of tricky one to see if you guys know the answer to this. So I need help. I need help with someone, and I need help from someone. All right, Laura says, should I use to be angry with somebody and then to be angry at somebody, to be angry about something? Yeah, if you're using, the reason I use the word mad before is because mad can have the meaning of angry, but it can also mean crazy or like uncontrolled. To be mad, all right? So, and this even like crazy could be like a good way or bad way. So if I love my wife, I'm mad about my wife, it's like I'm kind of crazy, like it's like almost, it's irrational. I'm not thinking logically. I just, it's people would say that's a good thing. But if I'm mad about something else and I'm causing trouble or something, then that would be a bad meaning of it, all right? That's why I specifically use mad in that example. So this is a very common word, a very simple word, one of the first words that kids learn. And typically children, so American, or just really any native English speaker, a child will learn the word mad very quickly, okay? So like a parent might be mad, or a child will also learn the word angry. Now, if you specifically use the word angry, you could be angry at someone, you could be angry with, or you could also be angry about. All of those are correct. But there, you're specifically using the word angry, which only has really one meaning. Okay? So I'm angry at someone, I'm angry with someone, I'm angry about someone. I could be, the meanings are a little bit different. So at and with, both of those really mean the same thing. I'm directing some anger at a specific person. But if I'm angry about something, it's kind of, it could be directed at a specific person or a specific thing as well. But I'm kind of thinking generally about it. Like I'm just kind of angry about something. Like I'm angry about life. I'm angry about, like the weather or something like that. All right. So I wouldn't really be like angry at the weather. I guess you could say that, because I'm angry. I'm like, nobody like really does. I'm not like angry at the rain. I'm kind of angry about it. So like I'm thinking about the rain and that makes me angry. Okay. Let me know if that's still unclear. But those are all good questions. Let's see. All right, Alejandro says, why in the car, not on the car? Shouldn't it be the same rule for the bus? Yeah, that's a good question, Alejandro. Typically, we have, for larger vehicles, you can talk about being on that thing as well. Like I'm on a large boat, or I'm on a spaceship, or I'm on a train, or I'm on a bus. But you can also use in for those examples as well. But typically we don't like ride on a car. And the main idea is just it's a smaller vehicle. And if you're on a car, you would typically be on the actual top of the vehicle to be on a car like that. Let's see. Yeah, so I mean it's kind of for smaller spaces and smaller vehicles. So like a motorcycle, you would ride on a motorcycle. It's a smaller vehicle, but it doesn't have a top to it. So you're kind of sitting on the motorcycle. You don't really ride inside the motorcycle, but you ride in a car. All right, spaced repetition system is a good method to learn new words in your opinion, says Davey. Not really. I'll mention repetition very quickly here. So Davey, let me know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Is it Davey or Davy or something else? So the idea of spaced repetition is we will hear a word. Let's say we learn the word about. And spaced repetition would have me like, okay, I'm going to learn it now. And then in 5 minutes, I will review it again. And, in an hour, I will review it again and again like that. Like there's some kind of like repetition that I would do. I would repeat that thing again and again. I don't recommend you do this because it's really slow. And also it's less efficient than naturally varied review, which is what I do. So naturally varied review is instead of, and that's what we're doing with all of these examples here. So you notice I'm telling you stories, I'm showing you visual examples the same way a native child would learn the language. rather than just saying, okay, today we're going to learn like mad. Okay, class, repeat after me. Say the word mad. Here's a definition. And now I'm going to maybe give you a translation or something like that. And let's just repeat that. So I give you a translation. I teach you for 1 minute. You learn something, and then you just try to repeat that again and again. Now, repetition doesn't really teach you anything new. And this is why it's a much slower way to try to get your brain remembering something. Instead, I'd rather give you something and tell you lots of different stories about it, or help you understand it in different ways, or give you examples in different tenses, or let you hear different speakers talking about that word. Because this naturally varied review, the point is it's the same way you learn your native language. So you hear examples from your mother or from your father, something like that. So it's not about just repeating the same thing. You want to repeat it in slightly different ways that actually each time help you understand something better. So as I was explaining earlier in the video, we build understanding in layers. And so the first time you hear something, you might not understand it. But as you hear it again and again and again in slightly different ways, you're basically building a network the way your brain likes to remember things. So I could tell you a word in Japanese and just like repeat it over and over and over again, but you wouldn't really understand that word better. So the repetition doesn't teach you anything new, so you're usually just wasting your time by doing it. Now, instead of like, okay, we're going to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, here's an hour, like tomorrow or whatever, I could take 5 minutes and teach you something and like just really help you understand it really well, and then you don't need all of the extra rote repetition. Okay, you just continue to get more examples, and these are related to other things, and it helps you understand the language better. So repeating the language doesn't help you learn more, and it doesn't help you understand anything better because you're not given any new information. Your brain needs more information, new information, varied information to understand things better. Okay, so if you need to understand something well to speak, then this kind of spaced repetition is not really a good idea. It is a good idea, like, so what we do in Fluent for Life is like we're giving you spaced repetition, but it's not actually repetition, it's naturally varied review. So you might listen to something, and then you might see it in a different context, and then you might write it, and then you might hear some different speaker use it. And as you get these different examples, the understanding increases. And the understanding increases, and that produces the fluency, which lets you speak. So I know it seems like kind of a complicated way to explain this, but yes, repetition it's more helpful for like trying to repeat things. So a lot of people have an understanding about language learning that it's like practicing a sport or riding a bicycle or something like that, and that metaphor or that way of understanding is helpful, but it's incomplete. And the reason it's incomplete is because when I'm riding a bicycle, it's only me, just like pedaling, and I can practice this motion. So when children learn to ride a bike, they're learning to do something. They have to learn to control the bike and not fall over and pedal. But once they get used to that, once they understand how it works, then that's it. They're not really learning anything more. You already know how to ride a bicycle. So you learn how to do something, and then you get good, and then you don't really need to learn anything more about riding a bicycle. But in conversations, number one, it's with more than one person. So it's not just you saying a speech. All right, you're having to listen to other people, and you need to be prepared to communicate dynamically and spontaneously to respond to what people are saying. So it's like me, like reading these comments and responding dynamically to what people say. If I was just giving a speech, that's a much different thing. So I can practice a speech, but right now I have to be prepared as a teacher to respond to people instantly when they're asking me questions. Okay? So spaced repetition is not really going to help you do that. But as Alejandro said, yes, like it's helpful for when you're trying to actually do something like riding a bike, which is, improving the way your mouth moves or something like that. So I might hear some Spanish word, and the first time I say it, I don't say it correctly. It's like Los Estados Unidos de Mexico. and I'm just trying to understand what the word is. But as I practice it, like the actual kind of repetition of that thing, Los Estados Unidos de Mexico, Los Estados Unidos de Mexico, Los Estados Unidos de Mexico. So if I can like practice it and like say it again and again, and that's where the repetition would help me learn to say something well. All right, but like the actual understanding of the language, that's what enables me to speak. All right, sorry, that was a long explanation about that, but it's important for people to understand this about language learning. Let's see. So user says, help with someone to take care of someone. Yes. So again, we'll just focus on this example since I didn't complete that yet. But I need help with someone. This could mean like you have a particular person and you need to do something with that person. So I need help with my child. So like, my child like needs something to do. I'm trying to study at home and my child is being really loud and noisy. I need some help with this child. So there's like a solution required for this particular person. Or maybe I need help with someone, like there's a person working in my company that I don't want in my company, so I need help to remove that person. Again, where there's like something connected with this person over here, there's a problem or something, I need help with that person. So it could be a positive thing or it could be a negative thing. All right, but typically like, I need help with someone or I need help with a problem in the same way. It's like this is the issue over here. So I need help with that thing. Now to contrast that, I need help from this thing, like that's where this person or this thing is supporting me. Okay? So like if I need help from my boss, I need him or her to give me some information or some materials or resources or something like that. So I'm waiting for like help to come from this person to me. So I need help from this person. But if I need help with my boss, it means there's a problem with my boss, probably. So my boss is mad with power. So I need help with my boss. Okay? So there's a problem, there's something wrong. Typically, usually when we're talking about like I need help with someone like that, but it doesn't need to be like a bad thing. Like I need help with my parents. I need help with my new baby. I need like a babysitter or someone who can come and help me with my child. Okay, so it's not always a bad thing, but the point is like this is the issue. The person is the issue, rather than like I need help from someone where like that's the person I can get help from. Okay. Yes. So I need help with something or I need help from something is also the same thing. So I need help with my computer. My computer is not working, so if I take my computer to the computer store and say, hey, I need help with my computer. Of course, I also need help from my computer because my computer helps me do work. So I get help from my computer. I need help with my computer as well, but like it depends on the situation. Hopefully that's clear though. So if you need help with something, this is the issue, this is the problem, this is the thing that's like causing some kind of frustration, usually. I need help with something, all right? So it could be something or it could be someone. So I need help with this machine versus I need help for, help for this machine is like you're trying to do something to help a machine. That would be like I'm helping for this thing, which would be a little bit weird. But we would say I need help with this. So if let's say I have a coffee machine and I'm pushing the buttons and nothing's happening and I ask someone, hey, I need help with this machine. I don't really need help for the machine. I'm not working for the machine. It's working for me, but it's not giving me my coffee right now. So I need help with this thing. The machine is causing a problem or there's something not working with it. So I have a problem with the machine. Okay? But if I need help from the coffee machine, it just means I need coffee from that. Yes, so MZ says I need help from you. Yes. So if you're talking about like a particular person, I need help from you. Like, please help me. So the help is coming like from you to me or from something or from some other person to me. All right. Making sense? All right, let's go back and check any more comments I did not. And if I got maybe like your comment got lost or something. There are a lot of comments here. So please go ahead and post it again. All right, let's see. Hong says, could I have Facebook or something in order to contact with you? Yeah, so also you would say contact someone. You wouldn't say contact with. That's a different phrase where you're talking about like keep in contact with someone. But if you just want to contact directly, you can always mail us at info@englishanyone.com. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter as well that I don't really use at all. But that's how you can contact us. All right, hi, joined from Japan, first time. Takewata-san, nice to see you there. Yoroshiku, kotoshi mo yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Happy New Year. Larissa says, hi, Drew, could you please explain the usage of help me out and help me with? Thanks a lot. So help me out even is like, I could say, you will hear like help me. Actually, you even just hear help. So we'll start there. So help, someone is trying, you need help. You need, someone to do something for you. So let me put another line there. So help, or we have help me, or help me out. Or help me out with. You will hear all of these things, and they all mean the same thing in this situation. So if I say, oh no, like I have a problem, please help. So I call my mom, I'm on the phone, Mom, help. Mom, help me. Mom, help me out. Help me out with something. So there's a problem. So if I want to explain a little bit more, like I will say help. And my mom says, you help with what? Like what do you need help with? What is the problem? You need help with what? So I could say help me out or help me out with. All of these mean the same thing. We're just trying to be maybe a little bit more specific or just expressing something like there is a problem and now here is the problem. Here is the thing I need help with. So I need help with a machine. I need help with a person. Okay. So could you help me with something or could you help me out or help me out with something? Both of those are fine. So typically if you just say like, please help me out. Please help me or please help me out. That's like a sentence by itself. Like please help me or just help me out. That's a sentence by itself. But people would typically ask like with what? What is the problem? So help me out. Help you out with what? What is the problem? So I could just say, hey, could you help me out? And then people will say, okay, what's the problem? They want to know, what do I need to help you move or do I need to help you just like a small problem or something like that? So help me out with, and then you explain what the reason or the cause or the typical thing is. All right. Let me know if that's clear. I think people are getting it though, looking at the comments here. All right. All right, people still asking about that. Let's see. Okay, I got that one. J Centeno, I need assistance with. Yeah, so you can also need assistance with something. It just means like, here is the problem or here is the issue. I need help with someone when someone is hurt. That's true. Hi from Thailand, says Cam. Nice to see you there. Yes, you could be in love with something. You wouldn't really be in love about, and I'm not really like in love about something. Mad about it, it's like a very specific phrase. We use that. Let's see. I think people are getting into on used when you can stands inside the transport. Yeah. I suppose that's true. Yeah, if you can stand inside something. Yeah, because you could be on a boat. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it, though. Made of and made up, says Ummer. So made of, or you could say made of or made up of. Typically, you'll have both of those, though they mean the same thing. It's like what is the material or what is comprising something. From Nepal, says a freelancer, it's I'm in my house or at my house. Both of those are fine. You can also search our channel for like more information about prepositions specifically. But watch this video. Like if you're joining us later, go back and watch the beginning of it where we're talking about that. All right, learn and enjoy. Great. Marie, nice to see you there with lovely flags over there. All right, in-house, the house is outside next to it. So remember, like you could be you could have a house, and in a general area around this, I'm at my house. I could be outside, I could be on the roof, I could be inside the house. All of those are different ways of saying at, because it just talks about like what's a general area. But if I'm specifically inside my house, I would say I'm in my house, or if I'm on the roof, I would say I'm on my house. So interestingly, like for vehicles, like I can be standing up inside my house, but we don't say I'm standing like I'm on my house, but we would say I'm on a bus. So it's interesting with it's like a thing just for vehicles. I think people typically use that because we describe that as like being on a bus or off a bus. And so it's like you can like climb on to some kind of moving platform, and probably it's because like if you look at like vehicles and things, maybe many years ago you would have just a wagon or something. Maybe it doesn't have a top, you're just getting on the wagon or off the wagon. So there are different ways you can think about that. Okay, I think I got all those. All right, Anurag says, I really like the way of your teaching. Oh, well, it's my pleasure. You can say, I like the way you teach. All right, it is easy to understand this class. Yes, that's the whole point. The whole point of my class is to make sure you understand it. Because if you understand something, then you will feel confident about speaking. That's when you speak. All right, yes, so Alejandro's got that as well. Someone to help me. Yeah, good morning. I need help with my work, says Joyce. Yes, you got it as well. I need help with something also works. Yes, so you can have help with something or someone. It's just whatever the thing that's causing the issue is. All right, John Alexander, if I am here on this live and I understand 98% of what you say and explain, does this mean that I have a good level of English? It just means you understand my English. That's all it means. So I know people think like if they watch a YouTube video and they understand a teacher, I'm being intentionally easy to understand. So I'm speaking more slowly, I'm speaking more clearly, and I'm using like more kind of teaching English. So the English that it would be easier for you to understand rather than a bunch of slang and idioms and phrasal verbs that you might not know. All right. So what we do like in these videos, it's really trying to help you understand how to learn. And so independent learners watch my videos and they can learn how to do that themselves. But for the people who want help, I actually lead them step by step through like from where they are to fluency. That's what we do in Fluent for Life. All right, a little help from my friend. That's right. And remember, like a good level of understanding. Like there are different levels of understanding as well. How many languages do you speak? I speak 2 languages. Can I say I got a problem? Yes, you can say I got a problem or I have got a problem. I've got a problem. I'm running an orphanage, so I need help for or the kids from the government. Yeah, so if you say like I need help for the kids or I need help with the kids, both of those are they would mean slightly different things, but you're like that would be correct. So the kids are the focus of that, and so you need help. Like the government needs to like provide help for them, or they're doing something like either way, it's kind of for the benefit of the kids, or the kids are the thing that are kind of causing trouble or whatever. It's just the problem or the thing that you need help with. Elman says, when do you, or Eamon, excuse me, when do you go live on YouTube? Usually like Mondays or Thursdays, Japan time, around the morning, around this time. Muscle work versus brain work. So muscle, M-U-S-C-L-E, muscle work. All right, Liz says, thanks. Stuart says, I need help with this from you, doctor. Yes, if you're talking about like a doctor, I need help with something. Passive scenes I didn't finding not pass. I don't understand what that is. Is that a question? Let me know again. Can you recommend me some resources to find examples in real life to understand a word? Well, just go on YouTube or here or on Google. You can search anywhere for examples of, or youglish.com. All of those things will give you examples of things. Fluent for Life as well. This is like what we do. We specifically design Fluent for Life to give people examples of real speech, but it's naturally varied review. So you're not just repeating information, you're hearing it from different people, seeing it in different ways, in different tenses. and that's what helps you understand it well, so you can speak. Namal says, good morning, Drew B. I wish you and your family Happy New Year. Same to you. Nice to see you there. Also, we can say, I'm home, the same way we can say, I'm in my home. Yes, that's correct. Joy says, not on house. Yes, again, if you're on the roof of your house, you could be on the roof of your house. It's okay. Come and have dinner at my house. Yes, so you could have dinner at my house. It's incredible how a tiny word change to the whole different meaning. Yes, and that's one of the points of this video is if you just learn, like if your native language is Spanish and you just take a word, I don't know, whatever, some word in Spanish, and you just translate that into English, then you're not really going to understand it like a native understands it. You're going to get a translation of one usage for one situation. But all of these examples I give you, the point is to help you understand it like a native. That's why I'm teaching you English as a first language. Yeah, so someone could come to your house, or they could be at your house. Like, would you like to have dinner at my house? I mean, typically, I don't need to say, would you like to have dinner in my house? Because, I don't know, we're not eating on the roof or something like that. I mean, even if we're eating outside or having a barbecue, typically we would just say, I'm at somebody's house. Laura says, can I also say, can you help me out with cleaning? Yes, yeah, so you can help me out with. All those are fine. How to understand the phrase within 7 years. So within, so it just means inside something. Inside something. So within, like if we have a box, here's a ball inside the box. The box is, or the ball is within the box. So you could say the ball is in, or you could say within. So within, it just means inside something. All right. So if you're talking about a time period, it's the same idea. So let's say we have, this is 7 years, this time period here. So this is today. So this is a 7-year time period. Let's say I'm 30 years old, and this will be me at 37. So within 7 years, like at some point in this time period, I need to be married or something. So for example, like I want to be married within 7 years. So it could be tomorrow. Maybe I get married tomorrow. Probably not. But let's say I get married tomorrow, or I get married, a day before my 37th birthday or whatever. So anytime within this time, in the same way you have a physical thing like this, you could have a physical, like the figurative understanding of time in the same way. All right. So Juan Carlos says, I need help with my speaking. Yeah, so I need help with my speaking. Now remember, the speaking comes from understanding. That's why we spend so much time trying to help you understand things like a native. So when you understand things like a native, that's when you become a good speaker. Summer says, sir, can you speak real fast like you would do in your everyday life? I've done that in a couple of videos, but like if a lot of people aren't prepared for that, it's hard for them to understand what I'm saying. And again, it's not just the speed I'm speaking at. It could be also it also depends on if I'm excited about something. Let's say I see something, I'm like, oh man, you got to tell me about this thing and what happened with this party or something like that. So that's me speaking more quickly, and I'm kind of blending my speech a little bit more. But I'm also not it's not just the speed, also the clarity again, but also it could be, phrases or things that that maybe you just wouldn't understand. I think I gave an example a while ago. Let me get my speaking, slow it down a little bit. So I was talking with a friend of mine about, I don't know, he had to forgive somebody. So the specific meaning. So he had to forgive someone for doing something wrong or doing something bad. And I said, oh, you let him off the hook. You let him off the hook. I talked about this in another lesson. But the idea of letting someone off the hook is it's kind of like someone is a fish and they are caught on a hook. But you let them off the hook. It means, okay, I'm forgiving you. So I release you. I'm not going to cause more trouble or whatever. I'm not going to keep you on the hook for something. So I let someone off the hook. So that's an example of how I might use some a phrase that person who's a native speaker would understand. But if I'm talking to a non-native, I would probably just use the word forgive because people understand that. But again, there are lots of things that I could teach, and if I try to teach them all at the same time, it's overwhelming for people. And that's why often you can understand English teachers, but you might have trouble understanding native speakers in real situations. And so it's really difficult to try to go directly to that, to get lots of examples, or to understand all the vocabulary and the faster speech and all of that. So I break it down in pieces, and this is how we teach in Fluent for Life. So we're not trying to get you fluent in one day, but with a few examples, we can help you get fluent in vocabulary. And as you start learning more and more, it will really help you understand things and become a fluent speaker much faster. All right, I think... Let's see. Oh, from India in the police. My English weak. You mean W-E-A-K. Like weak is like the spelling W-E-E-K is for length of time, like 1 week. But W-E-A-K means the opposite of strong. If you're looking for more, if you want to understand like spelling and pronunciation, get Frederick. You can click on the link in the description below this video to get that. But that will teach you things like weak versus weak. So they have the same pronunciation, but the spelling is different. All right. Thank you. Hi, Drew from Senegal. You helped me a lot for the improvement of my English. I would like to thank you. It's my pleasure. Miguel says, greetings from Brazil. Eamon says, could you please explain the usage of to get? It uses a lot of things. Yeah, I have a video about get. Just search my channel for the word get. You'll watch. There should be at least one video about that, but there are a few different ones. Nerd says, I visited New York for vacation. So beautiful. Yeah, you could say it's so beautiful, or it's such a beautiful city. So if you're talking about a particular place or a thing, it's such a beautiful city. But if you're just talking like the adjective by itself, it's so beautiful. Let's see. Takewatch says, your pronunciation is easy to understand for Japanese. Help improvement of my English ability. Arigatou gozaimasu. Yes, it's my pleasure. So I taught English in regular classrooms in Japan for many years. Now I teach people all over the world. Dimitro says, thank you, Alejandro. May have and might have can be used the same way. Yeah, so you could have that like I may have done something. I may have forgotten my wallet today. I might have forgotten my wallet. So in that sentence, or in this example, this situation, it's the same thing. But like, I'm trying to think when they're not the same. Let's see. Yeah, usually like for the most part, I can't think of an example where they would be, where you couldn't use both of those. I might have, may have. Google that. I'm stumped right now trying to think of, because usually when I'm teaching or when I'm thinking of examples, even for my own kids, I'm looking for a counter example. So even one example where it doesn't mean the same thing. All right. So if we learn a word like trunk, and you just get a translation like from English into Portuguese, it's like what meaning of trunk are you translating? Is it like the body of a tree, or your body, or the nose of an elephant? All right. But yeah, even like for those examples, like I might have done something or I may have done something, typically natives will use whatever is the faster or smoother thing to say. So that's why natives will often blend like might. So you might get like I might have will often be shortened to like mighta. I might have done something. So it sounds like I might, like mighta. Let me write this better. Mighta. I might have done something yesterday. So that's why like may is often heard more. But like it's not like one of these is really stronger than the other one. Not really. In an everyday conversation, natives are not thinking that deeply about it. So you will hear both of these things. But may, it's typically faster to say. Yeah, I may have done something. So the same thing, like I may have, like this will become like may. Yeah, may. It's like I may have done that. I may have done that. So that's I may have, but shortened and smoothed out. So I may have done that, or I might have done that. Both of those are fine. I might have forgotten something. I might have forgotten something. I may have forgotten something. That. Okay. Let's see. I may, yes, interested about with, interested within. It's like on the board. May have and might have. Okay. Santosh says interested about, interested with. Yeah, you would say interested in typically. Like I'm interested. I mean, you could be. And another good way, I'm giving you some examples of this, but you can easily get more. Just Google like interested in, and then Google interested about and see what kind of responses you get. So I'm interested about like, or I'm interested with, yeah, they're slightly different. Rather than cover a whole bunch of examples, I want you to try this one. Just actually try those in Google and type in like interested in, interested about, interested with. So do the same thing we've already done in this video, and you can see the difference. Let's see if anybody has a different. Might is probability, a weaker possibility. Yeah, but native. If you ask a native, like they're not thinking about it that strictly. They're not thinking like, oh, may is like I may do something or I might do something. Like you will hear both of those in the same situation. So it's not like one is like weaker or than the other. Like may and might, it's really the same thing. So there might be an explanation in an English textbook that tells you otherwise, but if you actually pay attention to native speakers are the real textbook. That's the real example you should be listening to. All right, Four Hands says, may I do something? Maybe, yeah, you could say that as well. And Yang says, I am a dumb English man. And Alondra says, thanks. All right, look at that. We got through 82 minutes over here. And everybody got their questions answered, I believe. If anybody did not, feel free to post it now. But as I'm always doing in these videos, I'm trying to give you more examples of things and really show you that it is possible, number one, to learn like a native. So you don't have to be in an English-speaking country in order to learn like a native. The point is just, instead of using your native language, you should be learning in English and understanding things. And the better your understanding becomes, the better your speaking will naturally become. So you don't have to go out and speak a lot. You become better at speaking by understanding the language better. All right, let's see. Always uses the one more comfortable to you. Yes, that's another thing as well. Thank you very much. Let's see. Alan says, what's the meaning of me, myself, and I? That's a whole different video. We're not going to cover that now. Any Udemy courses you have? I don't have any courses on Udemy, but you can click on the links in the description below this video to learn about Fluent for Life, and Frederick is available as well. Or if you go to EnglishAnyone.com, you can learn more about our programs. But these are where we take people step by step from where they are. So often, like a lot of people that can understand teachers, but they have trouble understanding natives, or they know a lot of English, but they still can't speak. It really just means they don't understand English well enough, and they don't have enough exposure to real English in a systematic way. And so that's what we do in Fluent for Life. So if you'd like to learn more about that, if you'd like me, again, a lot of what I talk about is kind of the general like theory about this, or the ways in which you should be learning, and you can do them by yourself. It's just a much longer and more difficult process if you do it by yourself. It's possible. That's what I do to learn Japanese, because I don't have a teacher to teach me Japanese, really. Even my own wife is like, it's hard to get her to teach me anything. But that's the way I learned Japanese, and that's how I got fluent and continue to get fluent. Fluency it's not like a point you arrive at, but you do get fluent in individual words and phrases as you understand those better. All right. So the point of Fluent for Life is to help you do that much faster, to really guarantee fluency, and we can get you speaking fluently very quickly if you'd like our help. All right, I'm learning English even as a native English speaker, says Gigi. Well, again, we're all learning. Even me as a native English speaker, a fluent speaker, I'm still learning new things all the time. I could be learning about whatever, or there's new vocabulary created all the time as well. Rocky says, I have a Spanish girlfriend who speaks poor English. My English is getting worse and worse as I talk with her. Well, help her. Tell her about my channel, and then we can help her. All right, JC Centeno says, thanks. And Glack says, how to distinguish between real and Rio. I'll put it here twice. If you have trouble listening and you really want to understand different sounds like real versus Rio, get Frederick. It will specifically train you about sounds and develop your listening so that you understand these things and you can know the difference. Like for Japanese people, they have a lot of trouble with like lice versus rice because these sounds are not in Japanese. So they sound the same thing, lice and lice, if I say them in Japanese. All right, but in English, lice and rice. So Frederick will actually train your listening and pronunciation so that you can recognize the differences between these sounds. Click on the link in the description to get it. All right, MZ, I'm frustrated because I need to sleep a little bit now, unfortunately. It's okay. Why I can understand American, or you'd say, why can I understand American, but I can't understand British people? That freaks me out. Well, it's a slightly different English. They sound different. The vocabulary will be a little bit different as well. But it's even in the United States, there will probably be people you can understand more easily, and some people you cannot. And that's just different pronunciation, different vocabulary, different accents, all of those things. But that's why in Fluent for Life, we give you lots of different people. So we want to give you people with like easy, clear, understandable English and some people with not. Like you should listen to a Scottish or an Irish English speaker that would be maybe something you don't normally hear. But that way you get used to those things. You need to get used to the native speech, and there are lots of different kinds of natives. So we really need to give you lots of examples of that. So if you'd like to learn more, click on the examples, the links in the description below this video. So you got Frederick and Fluent for Life. When will the next class, when did the class start? Like 87 minutes ago. But now it's about to end. And thank you all for joining me. So thank you for starting 2024. Hopefully it is a great year. Make it a great year for yourself. But remember, you don't have to struggle to speak. You really just have to understand the language better. And if you'd like help, we can help you with that. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.